Alright everyone, what is up? Twisty Jimbo here, and today I'm going to be talking about some of my early impressions that I've had playing the Valorant Closed Beta, like some balancing changes I think need to happen, and just my overall feel for how well the game has been made and delivered to us thus far. So the first thing that I want to bring up as soon as we get into this video is Valorant is incredibly well made, especially someone who came from. So I played a lot of Rainbow Six Siege and some CS:GO and Overwatch coming into this game, and I must say, compared to Rainbow, it's just mind blowing. Because Rainbow Six has a lot of issues with balancing issues and game breaking glitches and bugs, and Valorant seems to have none of that. Like there's the usual bugs you see with the closed beta where. There's a new one I just saw where Cypher may get stuck floating in the air when he's on his camera, but it's not, none of it's game breaking. And even so, like, that's the point of a closed beta, is that you find things that are game breaking and you fix them. So those bugs, not really a big deal. A game like Rainbow Six, where it's been around for 4 or 5 years, bugs are a big deal. So it's nice to come from that game and see a much more cleaner, well produced game. CS:GO, coming from that, I must say I like it feels smoother almost playing Valorant compared to CS:GO. Like, just, I don't know, just a move. It might be the graphics or it's personal preference, I don't know. But I just feel like moving around and shooting and gunplay feels much more smooth. And also, it's kind of more easy to understand what gives you an advantage when you're shooting. Like, when you're moving around in CS:GO, there's like certain ways to move where you can get pretty accurate shots while you're moving or while you're like almost moving. In Valorant, there's none of that. Like, your guy's either completely still or his gunshots are just like completely RNG and you're just like praying you get a headshot. And so I like that mechanic. And there's also a little bit less gun variety in Valorant, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing compared to like Siege or CS:GO or even Overwatch, because the guns tend to be the central like point of a conflict. So you don't want to have like 20 different guns that people can choose from, where it's like it all comes down to personal preference, because then you're going to run into a lot of balancing issues where do you bring, like, is the problem the gun or is the problem that an operator is too, or not operator, sorry, that's the Siege in me, the agent is too strong. And so which one do you nerf? Do you nerf the gun or do you nerf the agent? And do some agents play better with certain guns? Currently, yes, but like that tends to be kept to a certain type of gun. So like Phoenix will play better with a shotgun, or Raze will play better with an AR. Not Raze plays better with specific AR and Phoenix plays better with a different AR. So that, I like the simplicity of the guns. There's like 2 ARs you buy, or 3 ARs you buy, sorry. There's the Bulldog, the Vandal, and the Phantom. And then you just pick out of those three. And there's like a lower tier one, and then there's two that are very high tier. And it just comes down to personal preference. And everyone's running the same thing. So like, you know exactly the kind of fights you're getting into. You don't have to learn, oh, what if he has this gun or this gun or this gun or this gun, and you have to approach the fight from a different way depending on which gun he has. Alright, so moving into the second topic now that I've got kind of my opening thoughts about the Valorant beta as a whole out of the way, is what needs to be tweaked or changed in my opinion. So first of all, Raze. If you watch my stream and all, you'll know I hate Raze. Raze is the most blatantly broken character in the game at this point. Now, I mean, she's not completely unbeatable, and sorry if you hear any background noise, there's people walking around above me. Raze is not completely broken, but her abilities are very much too strong at this point. Her ultimate is literally a bazooka shot that's, even if you hear it, you don't have a chance to get out of the way. It's moving so fast, you just see it and you're dead. She doesn't have to know where you are. Like, recently, a teammate of mine called that someone was in the window, and our Raze on our team didn't see anyone there, and 25 seconds later turns and shoots her bazooka into the window and gets a kill, just free kill. She didn't see anyone. She just shot it, and there was someone standing in the hallway next to the window, and it killed him. And then you've seen me talk about it on stream too, is that you can shoot like 4 meters away from the target and still kill someone with max health and armor. Like, that's too powerful even for an ult in my opinion, compared to someone like Brimstone, who, like, his ult does a very much same area of effect thing, and yet it has like triple the time for them to get out of the way. It's like, how does that work where Brimstone's just so much worse? And then her grenades are basically, or paint shells or whatever they're called, they literally clear areas. Like she throws 2 grenades and she can clear an entire cover out. Like someone's heaven, just chuck 2 grenades up there and they either die or they get out for 15 to 20 seconds, which is more than enough time to take a site. And then on top of that, she has her boom bot, which sets off tripwires as well as targeting enemies if it sees them. So that too also adds another like basically like AFK piece of equipment. She just throws it down and leaves it. And then she also can launch herself. So you might see her just fly across the doorway, and once she's in the middle of the doorway, she fires her bazooka at you with her satchel, or by launching herself with her satchel, and then you're dead. No chance to refrag, no chance to fight back. That's it. So I think she needs to be nerfed. I have a couple ideas how to do that. I think taking away a paint shell might be an idea. Also, audio needs to be fixed. I don't even think that's part of her kit. It's just that like sometimes you don't get audio cues, so you may not hear her use her ult, or when she does fire it, you don't hear it till it kills you. Or same with the grenades. Like you'll be doing something and it'll just block that audio. So like they'll throw a grenade and it'll register gunfire, but they won't even play the fact that there's a grenade at your feet, and then it blows up and it does 80 damage and you don't have time to get out of the way. So that definitely needs to be fixed. And then nerfing, I might take away 1 grenade. I saw they're talking about ways of reworking her a little bit where it has to do with kills. I think that could be an interesting balancing mechanic. But I don't know. She needs major changes to be made. Other characters besides her, Sage is very strong right now, but I don't think she's overpowered. I think her wall's a little bit too strong just because there's not really like it takes like a full magazine from a Phantom or a Vandal to get through it, which I think is a little bit on the. It should be a little bit less than that because otherwise you're basically just free kill if they burst through right when you break it open. In terms of buffing characters, I think the only character that really needs a buff is Phoenix. I think Phoenix's abilities are a little too self-oriented. Like his flashbangs are decent, but they're like CSGO flashbangs, so you just look away and you're good. They're not very long range, so you can only flash like right around the corner you're going to peek. And on top of that, his Molotov ability isn't that powerful. Like if you're playing him just for the Molotov ability, you might as well just play Brimstone, because like Brimstone at least brings the smokes and the Molotov. And his wall of fire is basically outdone by Viper, and it's really short lasting. So like a couple ways they might buff him is his Molotov might be like better off as used as like another healer, because like Sage being the only healer gives her a big buff. So a way to like bring her down a little bit in terms of team value might be to have Phoenix's Molotov heal their whole team, which I get may not be perfectly balanced, and there'd be other changes they need to make too. But just right now, his Molotov feels it's meant to be used as an attacking weapon, yet it also heals him, which creates like a conundrum. And it's also not even that powerful of an attacking weapon, to where it was like I've seen I think one person get a kill with it, and I've played probably 40 matches. So like even when they do get kills, it is extremely rare. And like the guy I watched get the kill was shooting at the person and did most of the damage. He just happened to step onto his fire, and then she died. So I think that's it in terms of like buffs or nerfs that I think need to be made. Other people I've noticed that are really powerful. Cypher's strong as a flank watch, but that's just because people have to learn how to play around him. Jet's very well balanced. She's definitely like a solo fragger type. In terms of anything else, I think most of the characters are pretty well balanced, honestly. It's just the Raze, Sage maybe a little bit, and Phoenix needing a buff are the big 3 for me. So then just going for some like closing thoughts here and like a summary of how I've felt. This is less geared towards actual game mechanics and more geared toward like the overall experience. Toxicity has been, as expected for a first-person competitive shooter game. There's your trash talking and stuff like that, and people being just dumb in chat. So dumb that I've actually had to hide it on my stream now. My face cam covers it, so that's always a plus. But it's not bad. I've definitely played worse. Like, if you're coming from CSGO, it's probably going to be an improvement. But, I mean, it's also a closed beta, so, like, take that with a grain of salt, because I don't know what it'll be like when the actual game launches. Actually, it'll probably get worse. It almost definitely will get worse. And then my experience with Riot as a company, like how they've managed rolling out this game. I like the stream idea. I like that they've added enough space. Like they do the same thing they did with Legends of Runeterra. Pretty much everyone's getting in at this point. Like my brother watched a stream for like 6 hours and got a drop. And like compared, I watched it for like 3 days when it first started, but like now he just started like yesterday and he got it already. So it's like they're really expanding the server for as many people as they can get on at a time. And they also seem to be really consistent with quickly releasing patches, which I've heard. I've never really gotten into League of Legends, but I've heard that's what they do there as well. And so that's really nice to see, especially coming from Siege, where that was not a big emphasis, was lots of patches unless it was essential. Like they're like this week already, they've had a balancing patch, and like they're talking about more ways to balance the game already, and it's like an open beta without ranked play. So seeing that is just like that's really encouraging for a player coming in, because the ability to know that you're being heard and they're listening to not just like high level players but everyone in the game, and even they're taking the opinions of the high level players and they're using it to the best of their ability in order to fully balance the game and make like the perfect product they can. That is super good for a game early in its life cycle. When you start getting year 4 and year 5, you might be able to be like, well, if we could balance this, but that kind of takes away from the game a little bit. And maybe that's an intentional mechanic they put in. But like early on, there's no intentional mechanics. If something's unbalanced, it's unbalanced. So the fact that they're willing to change everything, like Raze, they're already changing her kit. They're talking about ways to change it. Like she's been out 2 weeks and they're already thinking of ways to change it. That's just super encouraging. And I think Valorant's here to stay. I don't know if it's going to be the CSGO or Overwatch killer or Siege killer that people are talking about, but I think it's definitely going to make waves in the esports community. And I think it's a really great competitive shooter with really good mechanics and a good, strong foundation to build off of for the future that is being introduced. And it's going to set a bar for what competitive shooter games could be and need to be going forward from here on out. So that's a wrap. That's my opinion on the Valorant Closed Beta. I think it's a well-made game. I think it has a really strong base for going forward. And I think the fact that they're willing to listen, key point in every esports game or game looking to become an esports game. And this has been Twisty Jimbo. That's my opinion on Valorant. And if you want more content like this, I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 8 to 12 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. And I upload new videos every Monday and Wednesday to this channel. And then Saturdays, I upload one of my favorite full games of Valorant from the week to this channel as well. So you saw the first one on there. It was like my brother and I combining for 64 kills. That's a pretty interesting one if you want to go watch that. And that's about it. So if you want more content like this, leave a like, subscribe, comment below with ways that I can improve this, because it's definitely not perfect. And, well, that seems like a wrap. See you next time.